I took my family on an 8-day cruise, and this is what happened. All right, you guys, so I took my family on an 8-day cruise. The first day, now we're from Colorado, right? So a cold environment in the winter. So we had to fly into Miami to port because that's where we're porting out of. I believe that's the verbiage for it. So from Colorado, we fly to Miami, right? And get our hotel. We get there a day early. It's on a Friday. Then we port on Saturday morning. So with this, you know, we're porting right out of Miami, and the first destination is St. Thomas, right? But first, we have to load onto the ship. Now, typically, these lines can be anywhere from an hour to 2 hours long, but we're traveling with my parent-in-laws. That's right, my wife's parents, and her father, Chip, is a disabled veteran. Yes, an Army veteran. So we were able to load early with, you know, pretty much the platinum and diamond members, which is really cool. But I'd like to say thanks to all the vets for your service, for real. So this was a cool little perk for the veterans. On this cruise specifically, we are going to St. Thomas, St. Maartin, Puerto Rico, and the Dominican Republic. Our first day on the ship, I was a little bit jet lagged. So I woke up super early. I actually woke up, I think it was like 4:30 a.m. So I go at the top of the ship, and it was epic because nobody was out, right? Just the cleaning crew. And so I was able to get some of these shots that were very beautiful, man. There's a water park on this ship, right? There's a bar. There's a movie theater type of setup. There's pools. Then there's this game area where there's pool tables and miniature golf. There's a basketball court. There's a little track you can run. A bunch of really cool stuff on the ship. There's also a gym facility, which I took advantage of. I went to the gym, I think maybe 4 or 5 times on this cruise. But the layout is super fresh. You know, they have casinos on here. And it was really cool to, you know, see all this stuff. But anyways, we get on the ship and we start heading to St. Maartin. Now, St. Maartin, we were going to go to the beach because we're traveling with our daughter who's 5 years old. So if you're traveling with kids, I guess they have a daycare center on board. They got a bunch of activities. They got an arcade room. Again, like I said, they have those activities on the deck with like mini golf and all types of stuff. So very kid friendly for the most part, just depending on the age, right? So every time we dock, our main thing is find a beach, right? The excursions online, I felt were a little pricey for like what we're doing. Like all you have to do is once you get off the ship, you go find a taxi and you say, take me to a nice beach. They take you to a nice beach and it costs a fraction of the cost. You know, depending on what you want to do exactly, I wouldn't totally mark out excursions, but me personally, that's really not the vibe. Normally when you get to there, the locals can beat the prices of Carnival. That's just the facts. But anyways, we catch a cab and we go on over to we went to Megan's Bay, right?
Yep. What can I say unto my father? All I have to say is thank you. Your breath in my lungs, your strength in my body. All I have to say is thank you. Come on, somebody.
Amen.
Tell him thank him.
Thank you.
For whatever For the breath you breathe in is not yours, it's his. The life you have, it doesn't belong to you, it is his. And he can take it from you anytime he wants. But he allows you to have it.
So we went to Magens Bay and it was immaculate. Now later on in this video, I'm going to tell you which beach beats Magens Bay. So if you want to stay tuned for that, I will show you the proof. But anyways, we go to Magens Bay. We have this very charismatic driver, female driver. Yo, she's crazy.
Listen, I've been driving for a long time.
You don't look like you're about 30.
And I'm driving taxi. I have a taxi license from 2000.
No way.
Yes,
Well,
I'm driving taxi from 2000.
well, you look very good for your age. And what are
Yeah.
you, about 37, 38?
Oh yeah, I'm 76.
Oh, wow.
Anyways, she was very vibrant for the lovely age of 76, singing hymns in the vehicle and just, I don't know, she was very charismatic. Gets us to the Magens Bay, and it was amazing. There wasn't that many people when we got there. At the top of the beach, there's even less people where all the umbrellas and seats are. That's where all the people were. But we got there at a good time, so it was just like, it was actually pretty cool for snorkeling too. There was actually aquatic life that was really fresh. So I don't know, I mean, it wasn't like we go to Maui all the time. It wasn't like a Maui experience when we're snorkeling out there and you're seeing like 5 sea turtles and a bunch of aquatic life. But it was really cool and very beautiful, just like everyone says. So if it is one of the most beautiful beaches in the world, cool. I've not been to Thailand or the Philippines, so I'm definitely not going to say it is because I have to experience it first. But we'll get into the place where I found a beach that I actually thought kind of beat Magens Bay, and it was on this trip. Anyways, we do the whole beach experience. You know, after St. Thomas, we went to St. Maartin. In St. Maartin, this is where we found the beach that I think trumps Magens Bay. Now, it didn't have as much aquatic life, but it did have some. But the beach was so crystal clear, it looked like you were in a swimming pool, okay? Now, this beach is right next to the beach that everyone goes to where they film the planes flying over, which this beach, which is next to it, I actually could film the planes flying over from the side, but still, that other beach is way overcrowded just to see the planes land so close. Hey, if that's your thing, good for you. You won't find any footage of that. Maybe I'll play some footage because I'm not here to catch a plane going over my head. It's just not my cup of tea. Plus, you know, I want my daughter just to have fun at the beach. She just finally, you know, learning how to swim. So I want her to be able to experience the beach and things that I wasn't able to experience at her age. So anyways, we take her to, it's called Mullet Beach. Mullet or Mullets Beach. Phenomenal. One of the best beaches. We got there a little early and we had an hour of the beach to ourselves in crystal clear water. Now, these catamarans eventually started coming up, dropping people off. They swim for a little bit, then they take off. But when they take off, it's empty again. So that was one of the cool, really, really cool experiences, was the Mullets Beach. That was my favorite beach on this whole trip. One of the reasons I think cruising is fun is the food, right? Now, I'll show you guys some pictures. This is some of the food we're eating on this cruise. Now, they have a buffet. I would say the buffet is like a casino style, right? Casino style food in Vegas. Casino style of buffet where it's not like MGM Grand. Because I had Wagyu beef at the MGM. Was it the MGM? No, Caesar's Palace. I had a Wagyu beef, but they still have this high-end buffet. It's not like this cheap, you know, local buffet, right? So you got this high-quality buffet that's pretty much going on most of the cruise. But then they have these stations. They have a taco bar, a burrito bar. They have a Guy Fieri, I don't know how you say his name, burger bar, which is actually really good. They got a pizza station where they're making pizza. They got a Mongolian grill buffet that, you know, so you have all this access to food. And what I would tell people, if you have not, you know, vacation, like for example, what I spent on the cruise is almost what I spend in food when I go to Maui for 10 or 12 days. Like, it's, especially with inflation, it gets super expensive, so it's very cost effective. Now on this cruise we got a balcony so we could see outside, and it was worth it to me. But you can travel even more cost effective if you just get an in-deck room. But I enjoyed the balcony on this trip, so it made it a little more pricey. But that's the one thing, you know, I see all these debates online, oh, cruise food is this, that, and the other. Man, they have fire, especially the dinners. If you guys aren't familiar, they do these dinners in a formal setting where you're supposed to dress up. They have an elegant night where you're really supposed to dress up. I believe 2 elegant nights, and on the elegant night, the other night, they were serving prime rib and lobster. Bruh, so good. But those nighttime dinners are like the highlights because you get super quality food. Like, it's amazing what they're serving. So for if you're dealing with like cost effectiveness, just with the food alone, that it's all inclusive. Now the sushi bar, they charge you for little things like popcorn, which they didn't charge you for popcorn like 5-6 years ago, but that's another story for another day. Inflation, the pandemic, it is what it is, right? But I thought it's super dope, and it's very cost effective when it comes to eating, because if you start tracking your money when you get off the ship, how much you spend in food and just little drinks, like, you would be surprised how quick it adds up. So how much you're really getting the bang for your buck when it comes to eating. All right, and then you know, our next place we went was Puerto Rico. Now, I've never been to Puerto Rico. Heard amazing things. Now, when we docked, it was interesting because out of all the docks, it was more like a what was it? It was like a shipping yard that we docked in. You know, there wasn't anything like everywhere else. It's like gorgeous when you dock, right? But in Puerto Rico, it was like, looked like the industrial industry, like a carport or something. But it was all good. It was still super cool when we got off. It was more hustle and bustle, kind of gave me the vibe like when you're in Mexico. They're trying to hustle excursions. Hey, you need this, you need that. Yo, information. So, but once you get to the vibe, the people are super cool. We just got a taxi, went to the beach. Now, this beach we went to was beautiful, but it wasn't even close to Megan's Bay or Mullet's Beach in St. Thomas or St. Maartin. But it was still cool. My daughter had an amazing time. The beach was fun. It was clean. People were hospitable, and we just vibed. Now, I would give it a pass too, because I heard there's better beaches on the other side of the island. But in Puerto Rico, we were leaving at 3:30 p.m. so we didn't have as much time. So we wanted to get somewhere relatively close. So yeah, Puerto Rico was epic. Now, we didn't get to go see the history of it, which I wish we could have done. But again, traveling with the child makes things different, sometimes difficult, because they're not trying to sit in a car and listen to, you know, like tour guides that are, especially my daughter, a 5-year-old. She's either gonna fall asleep, get cranky, blah blah blah. And this trip is as much about her as it is us, right? Like, I've experienced a lot of this stuff, so a lot of it is being able to witness all of this through her eyes, which makes it new again. So Puerto Rico was solid. Gave them a thumbs up. Again, the beaches weren't like comparable to the ones we had been at, but again, we didn't get to go to the side of Puerto Rico that I heard just has the amazing beaches. So maybe next time on the trip we will do that. And last but not least, the Dominican Republic. Now, we pull up to the DR, as they call it, and man, beautiful port, beautiful people. But this time around, it was raining. The weather was not great, but we went and got a taxi, and we said, take us to the beach. Now, driving through the Dominican Republic was crazy. There was motorcycles everywhere. It reminded me of Jamaica and a couple other spots we've been to, but I mean, you can see it firsthand. When you're driving and honking your horn is a part of the driving methods, you know what's going down. This was wild. We get to the beach. I mean, it's so windy. It doesn't really do this beach justice. Now I'll show video here, but it's obvious, like when it's settled and sunny, this is that blue, gorgeous water. You know, also some seaweed was coming up on the land. I've been to Cancun, right? And when I went the first time to Cancun, the beach, white sand, the baby blue ocean water. Then the second time, it was just full of seaweed. So this type of stuff happens when you're dealing with beaches. It doesn't mean the beach isn't amazing. It's a lot of the times, when do you go? When do you experience it? Stuff like that. So this beach was cool. The people were very hospitable. Kept it moving just because the weather didn't really permit us to like really go enjoy the beach how we did the past few days. When you get to the DR, they have this place called Amber's Cove. That's a Carnival cruise spot. And I think the mistake we made today, because the excursions were mad expensive, right, is $90 a person in the DR. And I was like, with this weather, if I would have bought an excursion to be on the beach or whatever, I would have been pissed, right? So we saved money there by just going to the beach. But in all reality, in hindsight, being 2020, we could have just went to Amber's Cove. They have this little area. It's kind of water park-esque with a bar and like a pool and a little splash place for kids, a water slide, a zip line, and it's really cool. But when the weather's like this, it's free to go over there, right? Now the zip line and all that stuff, you pay to do these activities over there, but you can get a seat for free, hang out, order a drink, chill at the pool. And I'm gonna say, in hindsight, that's what we should have done, because we got over there and my daughter's all playing in the splash park in comparison to at the beach, where it was just the waves were rocky, and it is what it is. You learn, right? So there's a spot called Amber's Cove. It's very generic. If the weather is amazing and you want to go see the DR, I wouldn't hang out there necessarily, because it's like there's just so much to explore. Again, if you're going on a cruise to like really explore, that's not the cruise. Is to kind of just relax, get some good food, get some sun, see a couple of quick excursions. There's not really time to explore when you get off the ship. Not like that, right? You end up getting left. You've seen those compilation videos of people getting left on their cruises. You don't want that. But anyways, yeah, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Hope you guys enjoy this.